Welcome to the ET-197 how-to video for the Click PLC tank project. Before we get started, make sure that our trainer has the AC plug and turned on, and make sure that we have a mini USB and a mini USB type B. This goes to the PLC, and this goes to the back of the machine to our operator interface terminal. Okay, we have the Click programming software opened up. You could do this by downloading it or off of VMware. So we're going to start a new project, and we're going to go down to our CPU, which happens to be a C201 CPU-2. And that looks like our beast, so let's go ahead and open it up and disable password requirement, otherwise we won't be able to get back in. And let's open this up a little bit, and that's good for now. Okay, let's get started. So first thing let's do is let's go to view, let's turn on our navigation and our instruction list. And actually we don't need this right now, so let's go ahead and turn off our navigation and just leave our instruction set on the side. So we're going to follow the instructions from our lab, and the first thing it says is if water tank has a high and low level sensor. The controls consist of a stop switch and a start switch. Okay, so when the start switch, C1, so let's go ahead and put in our C1. Okay, and we're going to have an output, and so let's go back and turn on our instruction set, and we're going to use a set this time. And we're going to use C3. Good. And we have a set, so once we push this button, we're going to get a set. All right. And let's go ahead and turn on our indicator. So we're going to use the C3 again. Okay. And let's turn on our indicator. For the system on, it'll be a C13. Okay, so next one is when the stop switch is pressed, the system on coil and the system off indicator will be off. And we're going to use a reset. So let's double click. Oops. Let's call back our instruction set, and we're going to have a reset, and that reset is going to be the same. It's going to be C3 as our system, and our off stop switch is going to be a C2. Good. And let's save this guy. And I'm going to call it Click Tank. Click Tank Project, so we don't lose it. And yeah, that's good enough. Just put it somewhere you could find it. Okay, since we are finished here, let's go ahead and label everything. And we're going to go to Program, Address Picker. We'll move this right here. So our C1 nickname, we're going to call it PB1 underscore, whoops, 1 underscore start underscore PB. Fortunately, this one allows us to not have to allow spaces, so we could go ahead and that'll be good. And let's do CD will be PB2 and stop. Space PB, and it should be okay. How about we spell stop correctly? C3 is going to be, I'm going to call it system on. Oh, wait a minute. Yep. System on. And let's go down to C13. And that is going to be, or I would just call it system indicator, IND. Okay, and now we have our information. Okay, the next step is we're going to turn on our output pump. So let's go ahead and hit this, and our output pump is going to be C1112. And we're going to use our system on, so we're going to do C3. And we're going to have our low pressure sensor, which is C202. Make that C201. Yeah, our low pressure sensor is C2001. And our low pressure indicator is going to be C211. So, if we get a C201, means we have low water pressure, which means turn the pump on and give it to the city. And that's going to turn our indicator on, which is our low pressure under is C211. Okay, so let's go ahead and get our address picker up again. So what do we have here? We need our C201. And our C201 is going to be a low pressure sensor. Low sensor. Okay, and our C211 is our low indicator, low pressure indicator. Okay, and we have our low pressure sensor 202. No, that's right, 201, 211. What else do we have here? Oh, 112 is our C112. C112 is our output pump. And let's see what that does. Low pressure system on, low pressure turns our pump on, our low pressure sensor turns our indicator on. Perfect. Okay, let's take care of our input pump. So we're going to have an output to our input pump, and he is going to be C111. Okay, and of course we need our C3. Oops. And it looks like I forgot C3 in the other. Let's go ahead and do that. Make sure that if we don't have our control relay on, we don't get a low pressure indicator. There we go. So our system's on, and C3 low level sensor is on. So our low level sensor is C202. Okay. And we want to keep the pump on. Okay, so let's go ahead and insert a rung. Actually insert a row after cursor. There we go. So we are going to seal this. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a normally closed C111. So when it is on, we're going to seal around it, and actually this one needs to be open, sorry. And we should do a control up. And if we go over here, if we go control right, we should be able to seal around our coil. And let's go ahead and actually let's erase that. And let's see what happens if we do a control up. Actually, we need to be over here for a control up. And we sealed around our sensor. And so if we get the low pressure we should stay on to the water level reaches high level. So this one should be C203, and that's our high level sensor, and that should turn off our pump. Good. So let's go back and annotate this. Address picker. So what do we got here? We've got a C202, and I could click here on C, and we're going to get and C202 is our low level sensor. Okay, and what do we got? 202, low level sensor, C111. What else we got over here? C203, and that is going to be our high level sensor. Good. And we have one more, I think, here. C111, low pressure indicator. Let's see. Yep, there it is. I'm going to say OK now and make sure that, oops, C111. Oh, that's our motor. So let's go back to program, address picture, and we need C111, so we're going to go to C100. And this guy is our input pump. Good, good, good. Let's see. And that looks good. Okay, so let's take care of our extreme low level sensor. So let's go ahead and have an open contact. And he is C204. And let's go ahead. Our sensor is going to be, or excuse me, our extreme low level is C214. Okay, that's the basics. So let's go ahead and annotate this guy here. And so we have C204. These are extreme low. And 214. is our extreme low indicator. Okay, so let's add our timer so it shuts off our pump if we get an extreme low for more than 5 seconds. So let's go ahead and go to view. Nope, we're going to do right click and we're going to install row after cursor, and then we're going to go to program and we're going to get our address picker. Nope, not yet. We're going to view and we're going to get our instruction list and we're going to grab a timer. I'm going to call that guy T1. Oops. And our set point is 5, so let's make this seconds. And okay. And let's go ahead and go control up, control right, T1, okay, so now what we're going to do, so if T1 times out, we're going to shut off our output pump because we don't want to be pumping water, mud into the city. So let's go ahead and do a normally closed, and that's going to be a T1. Okay, and that's it. Okay, let's finish this up. Let's go ahead and put our indicators in here, and it's going to be C201, and let's go ahead and we'll have our low pressure indicator. Make sure the light comes on. And let's go ahead and do our low pressure sensor. Okay, that should turn on our low pressure sensor. And let's go ahead and do our next one. Our low level sensor, and let's do our low level indicator, and let's do the next one, which would be a open contact. Let's go to our list. C201. I think we've already done that high level indicator. Oops. Let's go back and fix it. That should be a high level sensor. There. And our output should be a high level indicator. Okay, and what I usually forget is our end. Let's go ahead and make sure that's okay. Now that everything's done, let's go ahead and save it. And let's go ahead and write it to our PLC. Good. Okay, I've opened up our Seymour software, the HMI version 8.10. And I'm going to go to File, we're going to open a project, we're going to go to the file which I provided from Canvas, and I'm going to click on it, open up, and there's our file. And we're going to go to our panel, and if the communication's working, let's go ahead and go to project. Okay, yours may need to be set up, but we're going to go ahead and just transfer it. It's going to give us a warning about our Ethernet, and that's good. Okay, let's test our program. So first thing, let's go ahead and turn off our system coil, and we have a reset. That is good. So let's go ahead and turn on, and let's turn on our low pressure sensor, and we should get an output pump. Yes. So if I have an extreme high level, we should time out after 5 seconds, and our pump should shut off, and we get a flash. Yes. Good. So let's go ahead and turn on our low level sensor, and we should get an input pump. And once we raise up to the high level sensor, that pump should shut off. Perfect. Okay, let's test our program. So if we use a low pressure sensor, first thing we need to do is put our system coil on. Get a low pressure sensor, it is on. We get an extreme low pressure, 5 seconds, it should shut that off and continue to flash, and it did. Alright, so let's get our low level sensor. So our input pump is on, and it should fill the tank up until it gets to the high level and turn off, and it works.